India is not new to luxury. But I would like to comment on the fact that India came to the rescue of luxury at the era of the World War, when brands like a Louis Vuitton or a Rolls-Royce or maybe a Judith Leiber or Cartier, they were looking up to the Indian royalty as a market. So we are not new to luxury. But now, in the new generation, probably in the 2005 onwards, when the global recession began to hit in, luxury brands are looking once again towards India. So in a way, it's a second coming of luxury. But in the process of these so many decades, the consumer has changed. But has the consumer behavior been really studied carefully is what we are going to really talk about in terms of trying to create value for the customer and trying to understand the value proposition, the satisfaction levels, and the loyalty. The size of the market is likely to grow from $18.5 billion to by 2020 to 50 billion and to 180 billion by 2025. So what is the preparation that the brands need to do to get into that kind of a size? Not many Indian designers have been thinking in terms of branding. So it's been a very localized business, very individualized business as compared to, let's say, Western designers who got sort of constitutionalized through a corporate management process. So that's a challenge which the designers face despite a good amount of knowledge of the product. So challenge number one is that the consumer has really broadened, and it's not only one type of consumer which is consuming luxury in India. Challenge number two, how do we reach this consumer? So geographical segmentation as well as demographic segmentation is a big challenge which the brands need to address. So the concentration of the luxury consumer is far and varied. Talent, the Indian luxury market has shortage of skilled manpower. I believe this is a challenge across emerging markets. Real estate infrastructure is a gap which everyone is aware of. So India is a young country, and I would say the current government is trying to focus on infrastructure, but high rentals and lack of luxury real estate is a problem which most of the brands face. So there's a growth of the retail mall culture in general, but luxury retail mall culture is still quite restricted and it's far and spread. Last but not the least, the regulatory cholesterol. So this still remains a challenge, the FDI issues as well as the high duty which act as deterrents for the brands. Next, let's try to understand the consumer types. The old money consumer, or we call them the Khandani Rais. So these are typically carry forwards of the original royal families, the aristocrats, and maybe the first generation of industrialists who were close to the new government that was formed after independence. Their driver for choice is obviously personalization and exclusivity. The second is the new money consumer. This is the consumer who's made money after independence, fair means or foul means. Also includes the e-commerce customer, which recently made money in the recent past. Also includes the SME sector, which is not very classy. So their driver for luxury is flashy. They need to have big logos. They need to have a reason to show off. The next, of course, is the corporate professionals. And their driver for choice is trendy luxury. So everything is taken care of. The next, of course, is the returning NRI. These people are habitual luxury consumers, and they contribute majorly to luxury consumption. Last but not the least is the bargain hunter. Like any other emerging market, they contribute to the counterfeit drive. Their desire is luxury wannabe. They want to belong. So with this backdrop, we created the objectives of understanding the new luxury consumer, analyzing the issue and challenges faced by the brands, and suggesting foundations for strategy to overcome these challenges. So instead of reaching out to the direct consumers, we went to the luxury managers. And we saw the consumer through the manager's eyes. So each consumer, each respondent is actually representing a large size of the consumers he handles. So I would conclude and say that there is a need for personalized, customized, and Indianized experience to attract and retain the new young Indian consumer. Because there have been examples of Hermes trying to make a sari which did not do well, but there are even examples of a Kanali doing a Nawab jacket and really making it a big hit. But what is important is that there has to be Indianized strategy which comes out with respect to India-specific website. So Indian wants to feel special, and as you all know, Indians are very, very digitally savvy. You have to create value experience by aligning in-store and digital experience. So if you have a website which is very Europe-centric and the service on the floor is India-centric, then there is a digital disconnect. So people are looking at a connection between the digital experience and the physical experience. There has to be a focus India-specific digital marketing strategy. So you cannot use just a European strategy to succeed and win over the Indian consumer. You need to assure prompt service, efficient sales staffs, and continuous engagement. Thereby, the focus in training. Training education is really a key factor for an emerging market like India, where people are unaware, the people who are serving the customer are unaware. The customer is more knowledgeable about the brand, about the product, about the fine points, about the DNA, but the staff is not. In a single sentence, I would say that luxury is here to stay. It is here to stay in India, relive its glory again. Glory that existed in the Indian heritage is being refueled by a dynamic India, thriving, pulsating, breathtaking as luxury entwines its way back into incredible India.